Another year is over and it is time for you to get your new well-deserved reward. This time it is the VK28.01 105. A tank the veterans will definitely still remember. It is the VK28 with the 105mm derp gun. And that is literally it. If you play the VK28 and want to play the exact same tank but with a derp gun with changed HE, well, there you go. But let's just jump into the gun, shall we? The 105mm gun has 350 alpha on its AP and heat rounds and 410 alpha on its HE rounds. The APs has 64mm of penetration while the heats have 104mm and the HE has 53. So in theory you should be able to penetrate most light tanks on the same tier, but you might run into some issues depending on the angles. Also please don't forget, with the changed AG you are most likely going to do some no damage rolls when you hit gun mantlets, for example, or the track sides because you didn't hit the tank's armor in general. With a rammer, a decent crew and without rations, I was able to press down the reload time of this tank to 7.6 seconds, which is pretty okay. You have 10 degrees of gun depression and an aim time of 2.2 seconds. To that you have an accuracy of 0.52, obviously it is a derp and the accuracy on the move is workable. I do want to say, yes, the tank is fairly inaccurate, but then again it is a derp and the aim time is actually pretty okay-ish. Again, the biggest issue this tank has is its accuracy in general and obviously the incredible low pen and the fact that you are most likely forced to shoot heat rounds. And they're not inexpensive, they are absurdly expensive if you really wanna use them. They cost 4,000 credits per shot compared to the 120 or the 128 for the AP or HE rounds. And this tank is a reward vehicle, not a premium, means you don't get more credits. To the survivability, at least the tank has pretty decent armor in the front, 50mm all around and 680 hit points. Means if you see another TD on tier 8 like an ISU 152k, pray that you are not being spotted, otherwise you might just die right there. Other than that, you have so much hit points that you have the highest amount of hit points on tier 6 scouts all out there, which is actually great. And with the added armor, you are also great at ramming people away. Maybe the VK might actually be a pretty decent tank for tier 6 skirmishes to kill all those type 64s. Because the mobility isn't bad either. You have 25.7 HP per ton ratio and top speed of 64 kph and a top reverse speed of 22 kph. With the field modifications, you are even able to give this tank a little bit more top speed, pushing it to 66 kph, and if you decide to use a turbocharger you get even 70 kph top speed, which is really good if you want to ram somebody to death. And the reverse speed, you can also get some more reverse speed, but I would suggest otherwise in the field modifications, but to that we come a little bit later. The camouflage in my opinion is for its size pretty decent, so you are able to do some passive scouting or some active scouting. You also have pretty decent base fuel range, being at 380, meaning that if you have a good crew with both fuel range skills and brothers in arms, as well as have optics in the boosted optic slot, you can get 457 meters of fuel range without rations, which is, again in my opinion, very good. In total, it is an okay vehicle. It is a VK28 with just a derp gun, so if you enjoy derp gun gameplay, this tank will most likely be for you. But please don't forget, it does not have anything special other than its derp gun compared to the VK28. And don't forget, it's not a premium, and don't forget, HE was changed, so HE is less usable and less good compared to what we had previously. As a last chapter, let's quickly have a look at the field modifications, and here I would suggest to you for tier 2 to get the top speed because the engine power is more than enough. For tier 4 I would go for better aiming or smaller aiming circle because yes, 3% long reload time might be long, but I think the better accuracy will help you more in the long run. And lastly, I would go in tier 5 for less HE and ramming damage because let's be honest, you might want to ram somebody, and the reverse speed is also pretty decent, and if you are reversing in a scout tank, then you're kind of screwed up. And for the two equipments, I would suggest to have one being for damage dealing and 1 being for active or even passive scouting. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, let me know with a comment and a like down below. Don't forget to subscribe, because if you don't, I will get very angry. And I'll see you around. Cheers.